Hey everyone, welcome to episode 4 of the BowhuntingAZ Podcast. Each year, I'm blessed with the ability to visit my favorite place on earth, Estes Park, Colorado. This gorgeous town is located right up against Rocky Mountain National Park. A photography and video mecca, I spend time here to unwind, disconnect, and grow closer with my family. When I visit Estes, I typically spend time out at Wind River Ranch, where my uncle volunteers as a mentor, ranch hand, and trail guide. Through him, I met the man, the myth, the legend, Don McIntyre. Don gives selflessly to serve as a representative of the Christian faith through Wind River. In this episode, I talk with Don about his love for God, hunting, and serving others. What better place to do all this than before the awe-inspiring Longs Peak, towering 14,259 feet behind us. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 4 of the BowhuntingAZ Podcast. I'm out here in Estes Park, Colorado at Wind River Ranch, and we've got a beautiful backdrop behind us. We got Longs Peak and Rocky Mountain National Park. Yeah, do you know offhand, was it
14,259 feet, but some people may have piled a few more rocks, so it might have hit 60, so I don't know.
We need people to carry a rock up there every single time.
Carry a rock.
Drop one up so we can hit that 60 mark.
Yeah, the Meeker's right next door to it, but it's not quite a 14er, so hopefully they're going to keep piling them high enough to get them get that mountain a little respect.
It's Meeker and Lady Washington, right?
Yeah. Okay. And then Longs Peak's right there is the show pony.
Right on. I am here with Don McIntyre of Wind River Ranch. He is the director here. Don is a father. He's a husband. He's he's a cowboy rancher. He's a ministry leader, and he's also a hunter. And Don's been gracious enough to give me some of his time. He's a super busy guy, and so we're going to talk a little bit today about hunting. We're going to talk about the ranch here, and we'll jump into it right away. Don, how long have you lived here in Colorado for?
So grew up in Louisiana, but I've been here 21 years. Okay. And just blessed to have my dream job.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me, have you been always located here at the in this specific part near the ranch, or because you kind of jumped around Colorado?
No, I came out here in 1998 and worked for them the first year that they had just transitioned from a dude ranch to a Christian family dude ranch. And I got hired on originally to set up their kids program here, and then I returned in January 1st. Of 1999, and started off as the head wrangler here, and then transitioned into the executive director position in 2004.
Nice, awesome. Yeah, you've done a great job here. This ranch is a very, very special place. Tell us a little bit about hunting. When did you start hunting? Can you remember how old you were?
Well, I'll put it this way. In kindergarten, they asked me testing for the gifted program where you go into the your own little trailer over there at my little school in small town Winfield, Louisiana. They asked me what the 4 seasons of the year were in that test, and I nailed it. I said deer, duck, rabbit, and squirrel. So that was so I loved it from as soon as I was little, and it was something my dad did, and I couldn't wait to do it with him. So went squirrel hunting, got a gun on 410, single shot on my 6th birthday, December 23rd, and went squirrel hunting. And
you still have that gun?
I still have that gun, and my son and daughter now get to utilize that gun. So
that's awesome.
It's it kicks a little bit, but makes you a little bit tougher too.
Yeah.
So great memories. So I got my first squirrel, big old fox squirrel that day, and by the time I shot it, I almost caught it by the time it had fallen out of the tree.
Oh, really?
My dad had to yell at me not to catch it. So.
That's funny. So transitioning now, are you still kind of a gun guy, or do you like a bow a little bit more? What's your preference, or just kind of both?
In all fairness, I like it all. I love archery. I love the season, especially for elk. The archery season is, and here in Colorado, it gives you that full month to just intentionally be out in God's creation, chasing these wonderful elk around the mountains and hiking with a bow a lot of the times, but exciting other parts. But I still love crossbow hunting back in Ohio, and muzzleloader and rifle shot. I'm just a sucker for it all. So, too many hobbies.
As long as you're out there, right?
Yes.
How often are you able to hunt?
You know, it's growing up, I hunted all the time.
Sure.
And in my single days, hunted a lot.
Yeah.
As I've gotten married, I've really found that balance of home and protected my Sundays for family. And but looking forward with a 7 and a 10-year-old to when we can all do this together and create those memories and time. So I expect to be doing more.
Sure.
But I do love any time I get to go.
Yeah. Have they been able to go out with you yet or not?
They both have grown up, and it didn't push them into it, but they absolutely loved elk bugling.
Yeah.
And so we have just a little elk fest here. And since my little girl was 3 years old, she's been taking home a trophy from there.
Nice.
And she loves it. So when she first won the placard and won the elk bugling contest as a dad, you're like, man, that little girl, she can crank it out.
Yeah.
She doesn't use a tube or anything else. And she just got up there and just nailed it. And it's amazing what she can just make with her mouth without anything else. So sorry to all the call companies out there. She doesn't need it yet. She will, but hey, she does a great job. So
my uncle, he's sitting, for those listening, my uncle's sitting over here, but he'll vouch I was mouth calling gobblers the other day. Yeah, and I'll just sit there and you sit there and and we were having a blast. Probably woke up the neighbors a little bit, but I mean, man, it's fun just to go out and just have a blast and just kind of mess around.
Yeah, even when she won that placard, she came back and she's holding it and she sees Daddy's proud. She's proud, and she goes, Dad, open it up. Said, I think it's an iPad. And so I said, it's not an iPad, but it's a true trophy, and it's a memory, and that for a little girl, it was fun to see that. And my little boy carried on, and they both jump in there every year and just give it their best, so they love it.
That's so cool. How long is a typical hunt for you when you're going out? How much time are you able to spend out there, and what does something like that kind of look like?
You know, Colorado's got it set up for you get the 5-day or the 7-day or the 30-day archery, and so archery still falls in our busy season here as we're serving guests and doing that. So I get little pockets here and there. So it's those little pockets that I just really love getting out. But even if I didn't draw a tag here, I still get up early just to go out and sit and call and just be out in God's creation. But I love it. Anytime I got a buddy, man, I am a sucker for jumping in. So I love calling.
Yeah. Do you prefer then to typically solo hunt or hunt with a buddy?
Oh, I like hunting with buddies.
Do you?
So,
okay.
There's some times where it's nice, but especially elk hunting, it's so much fun to do it with friends.
Yeah.
And to create memories. And probably my all-time favorite is the father-son, father-daughter hunt. And helping those parents slow down and create a memory with a child, it just brings me back to my dad intentionally just giving up. He never hunted for himself. He always set us up for success and went with us. And we were the ones that got the shot. And he died to self a long time ago to make sure that he could keep that tradition going through us. And he had more joy watching us be successful or not successful, and then giving you a hard time at hunting.
Sure.
But, those are treasured memories. And, and something else on that too, that recently, 4 years ago, my dad was diagnosed with a terminal illness. And for all of those that grew up making those memories with our dad or with an uncle, those are amazing stories. And I love, like, even on the way to work today, calling my dad and talking to him as God sustained him and he continues to push through. He was telling me a story about hanging upside down in a tree, taking a shot at a deer, and I've heard it before, but I still don't grow tired of it. Yeah. But there's those things that when my dad was diagnosed with that, and we identified that this would ultimately affect my dad and his health, and I hired a good friend just like yourself with a video camera and encouraged you guys to take this technology and go do this, and flew him down there, and he spent a week with my parents, and he recorded story after story. And so I have all these stories that my dad told me that I'll get to tell my kids, but the great thing is I can't watch them yet because I get too emotional. But my dad I have those memories on a DVD, and it's sitting right there in my office. And I'll be able to watch that with my kids, and my kids will be able to watch that with their kids, and carry on some of those traditions and stories. So capture those memories. There's going to be a day where I don't get to call my mom and dad on the way to work, and that's going to hurt my heart.
Sure.
So
absolutely. Do you have any preferred game? What's your animal of choice?
Animal of choice. I am a elkaholic. So it's I love elk. I love all hunting, but
it's hard not to be here in Colorado.
When you're here and you're just around them all the time. And Estes Park is a special area. It's a draw only area, and the elk herd's abundant. To go into the national park and just see these majestic creatures and just you never think they're going to make that high pitch sound that they make, and you would think it'd be a little deeper, but for me, that early morning, just hearing that bugle come out, the first one of the year is pretty awesome. And even in town, they're sleeping underneath my window, bugling, and it's so it gets in your blood here. So
do you hunt turkey?
I've only hunted turkey once.
Okay. What do you think?
I loved it. It falls in that opening up the ranch season, so it's kind of a busy season. So I hope my kids will get to jump in that as they're able to. Once they turn 12, we can start doing that in Colorado, and they get their hunter safety. But man, the time I did it was over here off a mountain and hiked up and heard them gobbling, and I get all the way up there, and I had just a short time left before my daughter's event that she had at school, and I'm like, man, I'm closing, and he's up at 60 yards, and I'm like, oh gosh, and I reach for my call, and I drop my call, and so I'm like, man, we got to go. I got to make something happen. So I started just like you did. I tried to do it with my mouth, and it was terrible, but I don't know what I said to him. He didn't like it, and he came running down at me, and so I got my turkey, shot him up on top of way above me, and long shot, and he rolled all the way down at my feet.
Nice.
Picked him up, walked down to my truck, peeled off my hunting gear, and went right into the school event, and it was great.
Wow. So, that's an awesome story. Dream hunt. Have you done it or yet to? What do you?
No, my dream hunt, don't know if it would ever happen, would be to hunt with the Robertson boys out of Louisiana. Growing up in Winfield, my dad had one of the original Duck Dynasty calls. And so for duck hunting, that was his go-to call. And I respect them as a family. I respect that they stepped out there and put their day-to-day life out there, but they lived it and walked it every day. And just great respect for them. So sitting in a duck blind, I don't even have to bring the Super Benelli Black Eagle too. I just want to be around them. So that would be my dream hunt, and to tote my two munchkins just so they can have heroes in life, because I really respect that family.
Yeah, absolutely. What advice would you give to new hunters who are just getting started?
Get a great mentor. To me, hunting's it's not an individual sport. It's something that find a good friend, find an uncle, find a neighbor, find a farmer, a rancher, and get to know them. Don't just show up on a rancher's property to hunt the time that they let you do it. Go help them. Go help them round up the cattle. Go help them fix a fence. Pick up, steward the land as you're hunting it. You find that piece of trash, pick it up, but take care of it. But to me, growing up in Louisiana and being exposed to deer camp, and where we did deer hunting with dogs, which is unique and now no longer an option for people. I loved it, not because of the dogs and the thing. I loved it because of the camaraderie and getting to be there with Mr. David and Mr. Roy and Mr. Red and all the stories, and piling up and getting Vienna sausages and sardines out of a can, and just quietly listening to all of the stories that got better and better each year. But scared to death I was going to miss a deer and they'd cut my shirt tail off, because I didn't have a whole lot of hunting clothes. So, but now I got six sight. I don't think I'd want them to cut it. So
yep. And six sight's something that you use as well, and that's designed by Navy SEAL Stephen Hawley. And this is his brand, and he's not, he doesn't sponsor us or anything, but it's just a great brand that has been proven and is something that works. Frankly, there's no better way to put it. It just works. It is made for somebody that loves to move around and hunt. You can get specific gear for the
for sitting in the stand, but for me, this stuff is made for the mountains. It's true mountaineering gear.
Yeah.
It's true mobility gear that is quiet and well made, and everything's placed where it's supposed to be.
Yep. Yep. And that's sixsightgear.com. You can check more out about them if you want to take a look at that.
Please do.
Yeah, absolutely. What does hunting and conservation mean to you?
It's been a piece of our family's history a long time, and it's part of, with my daughter and son, there's great things that can be taught, and there's great times that I get to spend with them and with friends, but I really feel like it's relational, and it's something that is creating that time for us to go do things together and continuing those traditions. My family knows that it's part of how we feed the family, and there's a respect for that, as we get to God's given us the ability to provide for our families, and it's not just hanging up the horns on the wall.
Right.
It's for me, it's a
great privilege.
A great privilege, and a sweet part of what this country offers us.
Amen to that. How do you feel hunting ties in with your Christian faith?
I like it. It's a passion that I have. It's everything here working at this ranch. We put Christian Family Dude Ranch right on the sign, so we're not surprising anybody, and we live it out. And it's the same with the hunting. It's I get to earn the right to be heard. An old Young Life's saying that Jim Rayburn shared years ago, and I live by it. It's something that I feel a privilege of just getting to do life, getting to do life with these soldiers, with our guests, with our staff who are just incredible, and doing life and being there just to listen and support, and being a friend that is that 2:00 a.m. friend that when that phone rings, I know I got to jump up and help somebody, and something you don't get those calls late at night when people are doing good, when they're not, I'm happy to be there for them, and I know they're happy to be there for me. So
Absolutely. Tell us about an encounter, a revelation, or experience that you've had with God while hunting. I think for me,
I try to have a good friend that when he's out working his ranch in Texas every evening, he's out there in an old skid steer and just clearing the land, making it better and stewarding it. And every evening, right before sunset, he has a little, his phone alarm goes off. He turns his skid steer, watching the sunset, slows down life, and just has a little bit of quality time with God, and just respects the day, but slows down life to do it. And to me, hunting does that for me. It does that for people I get to go with. It slows down life, makes you focus on relationships with each other, but most of all, focused on relationships with God. And a verse right when you come in the ranch is Psalms 46:10. Be still and know that I'm God. And there's a part of that be still in today's society. We don't do a good job of being still. We intentionally have swings and great spots all around this ranch to try to slow people down. You can see that mountain right behind me. If I don't get out of my vehicle and notice Long's Peak, there are often days, I have to admit, that it might be 10, 11 o'clock before I'm awed by that majestic mountain right there. And it's a great reminder that I didn't start my day looking up. And that's it's just something for me that's, as I've gotten to be blessed to be here, that mountain's a reminder at how I'm walking through that day.
Yeah, amen to that. Yeah, I think part of my favorite moment in my hunting trips is immediately as I'm about to head out, I hit my knees every single time and just thank God. Thank you that I'm here. Thank you that we're able to enjoy your creation, that I'm able to experience this today, whether I go home with something or not. I just thank you that I'm able to watch and experience what you've put out there for us. And I mean, just being able to have that connection out there is just like you said, it's an awe-inspiring thing, and there's no other way to put it, really. It's a phenomenal thing to have.
It is. We're blessed.
Yeah, amen. tell the listeners a little bit about the ranch here. Let's transition over to Wind River, the history behind it, and how it's transformed into what it is today.
You know, it's awesome to go back and look at E.J. Lamb and Babs, who originally founded this mountain home property. We still have their sign. Used to be a 550-acre ranch that's now down to 110 acre, but we have Rocky Mountain National Park as our backyard, and Rocky Mountain National Park is our front yard. So we're very blessed. We're one of 11, I think around 11 concessionaires that can still ride horses in the national park, and especially for these warrior weeks, it gives those horses are the legs that get to take our heroes in to see God's creation in the national park. And for the little girls and little boys that want to be a cowboy or cowgirl, they get to get on these this amazing herd of horses, and with our staff, and go up and see Eugene and mine and all these amazing little pockets of history and beautiful spots in Rocky Mountain National Park. So.
And so go ahead and tell us a little bit more then about the Warrior Week and everything that you guys have.
Yeah, it's, you know, so the dude ranching came over so that was in the 1880s. This barn, if it's scanned around to it, was built in 1889. Became a dude ranch in 1925 to 28, somewhere in there, with the Hutchins family kicking that off here. Great spot to do it. This was the original adventure vacation, way before all these zip lines and everything else and all these other options that TripAdvisor gives us today. So people would travel out, and they used to stay for a month at a dude ranch. Now that's transitioned down to 7 days. A lot of people are wanting to see that shortened. Folks that have been in the industry a long time and who I listen to a lot are fighting to keep it 7 days because families need 7 days. They don't need 3. Those little pockets are nice, but they want you to come in and experience the whole week. It's magical to see what happens as kids get here. They get to be in a place like this. It's a safe, it's that outdoor freedom that we got as kids that no longer are offered to kids today. But it's awesome to see parents relax and kids adventure go up. And no kid left indoors here. We get them outside. There's no screens allowed, and no earbuds.
Forget about having cell phone service. It's not cell phone non-existent out here.
The good thing is they don't give us any bars here, so nothing to obscure what happens, and we're blessed that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
We transitioned. You were asking. So being an art major, I'm sporadic. So give me grace.
No, that's fine.
Bring me back to point. But that's maybe that helps me in an industry where you get to do so many different things throughout the day. As we were running the Dude Ranch, we've always had scholarships a part of it, and you get these families that apply for scholarships through our website. You can go right under scholarships and choose if you're in a spot where you really need to come out here. And that was a huge part of what we did, but that was about 5 to 10% of our guests that came out, but each year that began to grow. And I remember there was a particular year, and I'm seeing commercials on TV by nonprofits that are sharing the struggles of our heroes who came back from putting it all on the line to push back the enemy, so that we can have a Christian dude ranch, so that we can have this great nation. And it was about the 10th conversation with people of either myself or others just going, man, what can we do? What can we do? And really felt like God just said, this is what you can do. And I came back, walked straight over to the office, went in there. We had 1 week in early June that it had 4 families. And I knew all 4 families on there signed up. And I said, I bet we can talk those 4 families into moving weeks. And so I didn't call them, but I just was so moved that I went ahead and drew a line in, and at the bottom put the Warrior Week. And it was awesome to just have that kind of direction that I felt was from the Lord, and to go do it. Called those families after striking through the thing to hold it for veterans, and they all agreed to move, loved what we were doing. And we just launched. We had no idea what to do other than what we had always done, is just bring folks in and love on them, and just wanted to say thank you to these heroes. And boy, hook, line, and sinker. That first week was incredible for them, incredible for us. Went in and carved out 2 more the next year, 3 the next year, 4 the next year, and it just continues to grow. We'd love to continue to expand to reach more and more veterans. And it was through that process that what started off as a Warrior Week turned into a Healing Warriors Week, because we saw how veterans came in injured, but we saw how the course of getting them in this environment with other veterans, pouring into each other, getting them that band of brothers and sisters again, where they got isolated after they came back, and they were able to come in and have that bond with each other. And then as God started to just heal them in all the things that they were battling, each veteran was describing this as healing, and that this property was healing. And our summer guests described it as just a place that they just found peace and to rest, relax, and renew. And it became Healing Warriors. And that's what we're doing. We're also doing first responders, healing those that are out there on the front lines who have dealing with PTSD and with injuries, suffering in that first responder role. And my heart just struggles as I see the news share about another officer being injured or being having passed away from in the line of duty. So those have grown. We're now at 60% of our guests are scholarshiped by Americans all over this USA who invest in to get these people out here to say thank you and to give them that welcome and that healing opportunity. So.
That's awesome. That's such an awesome thing. What would you say is your favorite thing here about Wind River? If you had to name just one specific, or it could be a couple things, but what is something that particularly strikes a chord with you here?
I love the relationships. You know, a lot of these, so I've been here 21. I know some of these families who have come out for 21 years. I've got more friends than I can shake a stick at. I could go across country and stay at a different house all year.
A lot of hunting ground.
And so, yes, but it's you know, for me, it's been a blessing to get to know all of these folks and to truly serve them. It's you know, I love the opportunity, as I like to say here, to plus it up. One of my proud moments was when a staff member, we had a veteran that came out for one of our Healing Warriors weeks. He was heading back to his cabin. The staff members were walking by and they said, hey, called him by name and said, hey, Travis, we are so glad that you're here. And he goes, man, how do you know my name? And he's like, it's day one. And they said, well, you're staying in the cabin that's my cabin to take care of this summer. I prep it for you. I pray for you and your family all week, and I'm just happy to serve. If there's anything I can do to make your stay better, you just let me know. And that amazing warrior just looked at him and said, man, the only thing to make it better if I had a bowl of yellow M&Ms. And they just said, oh yeah, wouldn't that be great? I never knew about it until the next day. They came in the office, grabbed the keys to the vehicle, drove down to Safeway, fought the tourists, bought bags of M&Ms, and came back up. Staff went in there, sorted all the yellow ones out, and when Travis and his family were out of the cabin, they put a bowl of yellow M&Ms in there. And Travis met me the next morning just weeping, and he goes, your staff, that's awesome. And I said, man, they just showed Christ. And he said, I can't believe that they went and did that for me. But set Travis up for an amazing week with his family, and somebody that we're still getting to cross paths and do life with. But that moment was a huge moment for him, and those staff saw that way to plus it up. The cool thing is, I didn't know it either. The next year, they beat us to it. They already had a bowl of yellow M&Ms for him when he got here. So day one, they were ready to do it again.
That's awesome.
So we were blessed.
No task is too small, and sets a great example too of Jesus, like when he served his disciples by washing their feet and everything. It's like there's nothing that is below me that I won't do for you guys. Tell us a little bit about some of the cabins that you guys have here, some of the activities that are available. I know right offhand, your cabins sizes are from 2 to 10. Is that correct?
It's great. All of them are different. They're all built at a different time. All of them have been remodeled and plussed up. But the great thing is it's still rustic, but it's got rustic elegance to it. So we want to make them as nice as we can. We want somebody to walk in and feel like nobody else has stayed there, that that's their home for the week. And it's incredible when you bring these families in and they're like, this whole thing is mine. And it's like, yes, it is. And especially during the Warriors Week, just turn to the kiddos and say, you're here because of your mom and dad's service and for what they did for this country. You're getting to be here, and this is all yours because people all over this country have poured in to make sure that you guys can be here. And so it's incredible to do that. The cabins are great, but you know, as wonderful as they are, you spend most of your time outside, and that's where we want you. And so, but that provides, those pillows are the ones that where you get to rest your head and get that rest for the next day to go enjoy all that we're offering with kayaking, with hiking, with climbing walls, zip line, horse rides. We got team pinning, we have archery, we have hatchet throwing, knife throwing, slingshot. We're trying to do it all. And that's probably just Monday. But you
still the other 6 days.
You get a whole week with us, and you know, one of the key components is as you start to go on vacations or to take those pauses, it slows you down because you go, oh, I got to eat again. Oh, I got to eat again. In our day-to-day routine, we just kind of do it. On vacation, everything's provided for you. We try to peel everything back so that the families can just relax and spend that quality time. But the chefs just do the food is incredible. And it's as top tier as we can get. And so it's a special thing. But one of the Warriors last week, he and his wife work opposite shifts so they can be home with the kids. And he said the number of meals that they ate together here during that week is equivalent to almost 3 months back home. It takes them 3 months to get that same number of meals. So he just broke down and cried and said, the gift of this time with my family is just priceless.
Absolutely. And then if somebody wants to get in touch with you or with the ranch, what would be the best way to go about that?
Just give us a call. You can go on our website, windriverranch.com, check it out, and you can call our main office number, 970-586-4212, and ask for any of the team. We'd love to visit. Don't be the price point, it's high at all dude ranches, but this one in particular is working very hard to find a way for it to be affordable for those that want to be here. So go online. If it's out of reach, which it would have been for my family, then go ahead and fill out that scholarship application, get it back to us, and we'd love to go through, and I'll happily spread the word out there for more folks to give so we can get more people here. But like we've learned, you can't change a pillow's life. So there needs to be a head on that pillow. So we're all about never seeing an open cabin here because we're blessed to steward this special property and this special ranch. And an empty cabin is a wasted cabin. And so we want to get people here.
Absolutely. And if anybody wants to donate or sponsor to the ranch or anything like that, they can go ahead and contact you. Same information, or is there a different route they should go?
Yeah, feel free to give myself a call, reach out. If you have a connecting point, if there's somebody that's heart lines up with this ministry, reach out. But we have some amazing folks who just continue each year or just hearing about what's happening here, and they want to invest in veterans. They want it to be an eternal impact too. And they're coming alongside of this with veterans, with first responders, with helping folks heal from human trafficking, from families who are dealing with stage 4 cancer, to just anything out there. Those are the kind of folks that we want to come alongside and just love on and give them a vacation that not only just is a memory that just moves forward with them, and it's a special spot.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Don, so much for your time. I appreciate it. To all our listeners, thank you so much. We hope that you guys walk away with something special from this. If you're able to help support this at all, please do. I've personally seen the work that's done here, and it's amazing, from family nights that take place in like the town hall to the meals that go on here are just extravagant and extremely delicious. And it is just a great place. There's no better setting really than here in the middle of the Rocky Mountains in Colorado for healing to happen. Great family time together. So I can't promote this place enough. Don, thank you for your time and talking about hunting.
Hey, happy hunting, and hope you make great memories.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Come see us.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Steve. All
right, guys, have a great one. Thanks again for listening. Don, appreciate it. Have a good one. That's the BowhuntingAZ Podcast. We'll see you guys later. See ya.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the BowhuntingAZ Podcast. I know I had a blast being able to interview Don at Wind River Ranch. If you're interested in supporting Wind River Ranch, you can do so via their website, www.windriverranch.com. Please consider helping sponsor our veterans and their families. This ranch has so much to offer for them. Please subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher, and if you would like to, be so kind, hit those 5 stars for us and leave a review. If you would like to sponsor a podcast episode, reach out to me at bowhuntingaz88@gmail.com. Take care, everyone. We'll see you in the next one.